From jail to giving back through Habitat for Humanity, a new program will allow those held in Columbia's Department of Juvenile Justice facility to actually help build homes for Habitat for Humanity. Today, the Department of Juvenile Justice held a ceremony for the program. The youth will work on a frame for a house at the DJJ facility, and then later, some of the youth will be allowed to help build the remainder of the home on location. Project's called The House That DJJ Built.
Last month or so, students at DJJ built a house for a family. Today, that house was picked up and moved over the fence. More than 50 students and 100 volunteers spent 5 days a week and 5-hour days working to do all of this. It's the first time DJJ has ever attempted something this big.
So the Department of Juvenile Justice, 50 students worked with 100 volunteers to build a house for a Midlands family. Well, now that it is built, how do you move the house? Sean Skillman shows us. Easy. You just lift it.
It's not every day that a teenager can say they built a home from nothing. This 3-bedroom house has been a major project for 50 teenagers that call the Department of Juvenile Justice their home. Daryl Atkins is one of them.
And for me personally, I'm incarcerated for breaking into houses. So now, it feels good to be able to build a house for somebody else.
Atkins and the other teenagers just finished working on the frame of the house. It took 2 weeks.
I helped the floor, the walls, the roof, and the siding.
All while providing a dream home for Miss Jackson and her son with cerebral palsy. A good deed these teens hope overshadows some bad choices.
We're not who we seem to be. We have another chance at life.
The young men and women who built this house, along with the volunteers and the employees here at DJJ and a whole bunch of other folks, started this build on December 5th. And they built this house in 10 days.
We found ourselves here. Has it been a year? Seems like a long time ago, when they asked us to do something different and new for a family we don't even know. But now we are building a house we never thought that we could. Yes, we are building a house. Never did anything this good. We're part of a family. We're building a house.
Well, the story on this was as they came to us and said that they wanted to build a Habitat house, and we badly wanted a Habitat house built. We had no idea how we could build it behind the fence, and they said, I'm not sure that you can. It will go out the front gate by width, but not by height. So a young fella at the table, a young contractor who was very wise, said to us, no, it can be lifted. We can lift it over the razor wire. Well, of course, you could hear a pin drop at the table when this story was told, because we were all looking at this young man in amazement. It can be lifted. And he said, no problem. We can get cranes to lift the house over the fence. Immediately, it came to everyone at that table how symbolic. We're actually rebuilding or building a home behind the fence for someone that very much needs that home. And then our kids are going to take part not only in the build, but we're all going to take part as we watch it be lifted back out to the community. So in my opinion, it is a classic rebuild, restorative justice, give back to the community. We brought a community together. We not only brought an agency together, we gave the kids something to think about every day and to talk about in years to come, but we brought a community together. To me, within the history of DJJ, we've done a lot of wonderful things, but this one was different. It was an actual physical build. We put something together and we gave something back. I think it has to go down in history for being one of the most unusual things we've done, and to me, one of the most rewarding things we've done. And hopefully kids can continue to tell this story years from now, that I came to DJJ, or I worked in the community in a probation office, and I learned a trade. I was able to go and learn. So we're hopefully this will be part of a beginning movement, a reform here at DJJ, making folks ready, making folks become better than when they came in. We had spirited staff, we had spirited volunteers, we had a Habitat for Humanity director that came from the Midlands area, Mr. Kramer. He was willing to listen and he was willing to get involved.
Now it was very, very exciting. You know, we go back 10 years, we've been talking about things like this with DJJ, and to see it come true and just to step out there and drive a nail is important to me. That opening day as it was watching it go over the fence. It was every day was great. I think it's wonderful to give folks a chance. I work with so many youth in different areas that have never held a hammer, never held a broom, you know, never been on a ladder. To watch these guys take it and run with it so quickly, it's great to see. It's basic skills that everybody needs. I was a builder before this and going to people's houses to do repairs, and the homeowner, you know, couldn't hold a screwdriver in their hand. These are basic skills that these men and women will carry with them their whole life. It was no different than any other crowd I've ever had out there. There wasn't an issue with anybody. These guys were more eager. They caught on quicker than a lot of people that I've worked with. I think they were great. The seed was planted and the time came and it really went together nice and smooth, and everybody had a great time and it was safe. So it was the Lord's timing, not ours.
I thought that the Habitat for Humanity project was something that would go hand in hand with our children out here. They could learn a skill that they could take into the future, and so I just thought it was the perfect fit. I got to tell you, it was the most amazing thing. When I left here the day that we had it was just a small group of us that met, and it was truly amazing. I made a phone call, and I called the Mechanical Contractors Association. I made one phone call, and that one phone call led to another phone call, and I didn't have one person turn me down. And when they found out it was for children, they didn't really even ask what we were doing, but everybody said yes when they found out we were helping children, and children were going to become a part of something, and they were going to learn skills, and we were going to be able to do something for their future. Not one person told me no.
Showed up several months ago and to a conference room of people I really didn't know really know anybody there, and got to hear Ms. Barber talk about their plans, and it just was something that fell in line with our values of our company and a lot of the values of folks with Mechanical Contractors Association, and we felt like it would something that we all want to participate in. There was a concern, which it didn't appear to me, that this was being built behind the fence, and that there were going to be limitations because you couldn't get it out through any of the gates. So there was a pretty big obstacle. And I think at that meeting I jokingly had mentioned, well, why don't we lift it over the fence? And I think I might have said it jokingly, but just my experience in construction is, you know, there's always a way to do something. And so I think that there was some humor in it at first, and then I think that some of these great folks that visioned this project thought that maybe that'd be a great idea, and I said, well, I guess I better make sure that it can be done. So we were able to contact a couple local companies, and then I believe White Crane, which is also a member of Mechanical Contractors and a friend of our business, and got involved and said, yeah, we can do this, it can be done. This was an opportunity to kind of bring us together outside of our industry and let us work together to do something for the community.
This is probably one of the best things that could have ever happened here at DJJ. You've got the friends of DJJ, you've got DJJ, the kids involved, as well as the entire community. It's a great way to bring a lot of groups, businesses, and people together. Got great resources here in these kids. They're willing, able, and want to learn a trade. They're anxious to get out there and do some good.
Yes, I am very blessed. I'm blessed to, Habitat for Humanity for selecting me, because, I really wasn't thinking about me, when I did this program. Definitely God foremost. And everybody here at DJJ, especially the kids that I met, Isaiah, to just all the kids and adults, especially the staff. They're very funny. I had a good time with them as well. They made it seem like it wasn't even a prison here, It's like a little home that everybody visiting people like family member who you haven't seen in a while. So it was very smooth. I always thought that they needed something like this, because with me working with the district and talking to kids before they get in trouble, they always said they were bored. So this type of activities keep them busy all the time.
I can't totally explain the feeling, but I want you to know that it was a feeling of appreciation. I was really appreciating what I was doing for the home, even if I didn't even know the person at that time, because the first day I got started, I didn't know the person who I was building a home for. But once I began, I started saying to myself, well, if I help build this home for this person, I can change somebody's life.
I own a small company. My brother and I own a small company, and we do whatever we can to give back to the community. And I think it's everyone in the community's responsibility, especially if you're a company that's profiting off of that community, you need to give back to it. These children in here, or young adults, they're in here and they made mistakes. And a lot of them aren't college-bound students. And that's fine. You don't have to go to college to make a good living for yourself, to make a good living for your family. And I think that's what's wrong with society today. Everyone thinks that if you step off onto the wrong track, or you don't go to college because there's all these college jobs, that you're not going to be able to do anything. And that's not the case. The thing is that if you learn a good skill, you can create a great living for yourself and your family in the future. And that's what these kids have learned. These kids are learning skills that we need. Right now, there's a huge demand for people to do what they're, electricians, carpenters, roofers. I mean, there's a demand for these people, and as the population grows, that demand is going to increase. These young adults, they need to know they can still take a corrective action.
I worked a couple days out there, and one of the days was a women's build day, and they had a lot of women from all over, women that are minorities that you wouldn't really see women building houses, but a lot of women came that have different kind of jobs relating to building houses.
But particularly being a woman in the business for 30 years, I was interested, especially today, that they've got young women out here working on the house. So if we could spark an interest in construction as a way to make a great living and do what you hopefully love. Because I've worked mostly with men. I've had very few women work for us, and I've for years tried to mentor people to go into construction, but everybody seems to think you've got to go to college and sit behind a desk, and that's not for everybody. You can make a great living and do what you love, and these girls, particularly now, will see something great happening, that they're building a home for someone who truly is in need, and hopefully that'll make them feel good about themselves, but find out about a way to make a living once they get on the straight and narrow.
Before I got locked up, knowing I had a charge, and I came behind the fence, I would never ever think that we would be doing something so compassionate for another person. And when I saw, my fellow peers building, it shows that, they have respect for other people, not just to take away, but to give back. And they show that in the absolute sense.
It has changed my outlook on being at DJJ. I used to think of being here as just like being in jail, but ever since we started working on the house, it's like I realized that it's not just about being in jail, it's about me learning new things and changing, and it's like rehabilitative justice, not just punishment. And I think it's good to be able to learn stuff while you're here so that when you leave you have something you can start off with.
We found ourselves here, has it been a year? Seems like a long time ago.
We're gonna build a house. Yay! And that then will be the house that DJJ built with the help of our friends. It will be a habitat house, a house of giving back and making whole. So we are as thrilled as we can be about what we're about to go under. We're gonna do it. Every one of you will be part of it.
We're building a house. We can lift it by cranes. We're going to lift that house over the fence.
Building, 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 building a house.
They really took to it and did an outstanding job for us. We had no problems from any of the kids who participated in this program. We're so proud of them.
I've never really done a lot of stuff to help a lot of people in my life, and being that I get to help somebody in a bad predicament, that's a good thing for me. It's a good feeling. Yeah, it makes me feel good.
The young men and women who built this house, along with the volunteers and the employees here at DJJ and a whole bunch of other folks, started this build on December 5th. And they built this house in 10 days.
The community has really stepped up with helping with this, and people from all over the state have sacrificed their time and energy and effort to come and do that to help this house be built and finished. We know a lot of work went on behind the fence, but we're just excited to be a part of it. You know, it's a great thing to be able to do this. The vision of our leadership, Director Barber, Lisa Timmerman, all of those people have felt this was a worthwhile effort. So the community division is absolutely excited about being a part of it.
There were absolutely no challenges working with the kids. They were actually a lot of fun to work with, and hard workers listened to everything that you said, and once they got to know you, would open up and just joke with you back and forth. They were a lot of fun to work with, and to have them working hands-on with everything. I mean, you can't not learn when you're doing something hands-on. It's been unique. It's been outstanding, and it's been a wonderful project.
It is a good day. It's a great day. It's a day that has come together, and we have worked on this thing for months. Roy, you talked about 8 years ago, 10 years ago, we did begin talking. In March, we got serious, and look what's happened. It is a wonderful opportunity to stand here and look out at all our community partners, our agency friends, our young people, our neighborhood friends, our new neighborhood friends, to come together and to say, we did it. We built a house with the help of many, many individuals. And Miss Jackson, this is your day. This is your home. And we're so delighted because you brought a community together. You brought an agency together. We became one. We brought community. We brought folks behind the fence together. We brought all folks together. You helped us do this, and I hope you and Byron will always remember what you did for this community, this agency, and this habitat company. You brought us all together, so thank you so much.
I'm just touched how many people help.
and came out today and the other days, from the beginning to the end, and changed me and Baron life. I would have never thought this would happen, but I am very thankful. That's it.
Stay tuned, it's going to happen again. And I want all of you to be with us.
We found ourselves here, has it been a year? Seems like a long time ago, when they asked us to do something different and new for a family we don't even know. But now we are building a house we never thought that we could. Yes, we are building a house, never did anything this good. We're part of a family, we're building a house.